Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jen, and today I will be doing a review of My 600-Pound Life, Episode 2, Thedrick's Story. Thedrick is 32 years old, from Florida. He lives with his mom, who said that he's lived with his mom his whole entire life. At this moment, the weight is unknown. He doesn't know how much he weighs, but he looks huge. Um, he they start off like all the episodes of them going to the bathroom, and and of course, as you know, then going to the bathroom, you see everything. So he's on his way to the bathroom, and then you just notice this big, like, thing hanging in between his legs, which he then tells us that he was diagnosed with lymphedema, where that is just like a it's a disease where your legs leak and you have like sometimes growths, I guess. So like you could just bump into anything and your leg will just start leaking. So that's what he's dealing with, and on top of that, he's really huge. So he starts off with telling us about you know his day and what it consists of, which he hasn't left the house in like 3 years, his mom said. So he starts off his day of getting up and going into the bathroom like they show, which really, they don't show him getting, taking a shower like they show everybody else, because he can't get into the shower because of that thing that's hanging like in between his legs. So he um he goes to the bathroom, uses the bathroom, comes back out, and then his mom comes in with a washcloth and a tub of water and soap and stuff. So she's just basically washing him up. So she just has to. His mom is basically his caregiver, and so she gives him, the bath, and then he hurries up, and she's like, "Hurry up, you're gonna be late. It's 10 o'clock." So every day he goes and he's meeting the ice cream man. His mom says he has an account with the ice cream man. He gets, he orders a lot of things off of the ice cream truck. He gets nutty bars, he gets bomb pops, whatever, hot chips, and he's just starting his day off. That's how he starts his day off, with ice cream for breakfast. And then it's lunchtime and he's ordering pizza. He said he eats pizza every day, and he orders Domino's. He gets like 2 to 4 pizzas with 2 orders of wings, cheese, bread. And he claims that, food makes him feel better. So then he goes into telling us that when he was 5 years old, that basically that he's always been a big guy. But when the pictures that they showed, he was skinny as a child. He wasn't big like that. So I feel like, he did this, just to eat. He just had an eating disorder, which is he can't stop eating. So anyways, basically he goes into telling us that when he was 5 years old, his great grandma died on Halloween. So he took it upon himself to eat his whole entire bag of Halloween candy because he was upset about that. Well, when he was in school, he got bullied. But he said that he, fought the bullies back. He said that's the way that he got over it, kind of, is fighting, fighting the kids back and eating, eating whatever he wanted to eat. So then he says that when he was 9 years old, his dad went to jail, and, that's part of the reason why he eats the way that he eats. He was upset about that too. So on top of his grandma passing away, his daddy going to jail, he just, just kept eating. So anyways, he goes on to tell us that by the time he was in high school, he weighed 300 pounds. And so then he says by the time he graduated from high school, he was 400 pounds. And, you know, he just kept gaining weight and kept gaining weight because he just kept eating. He admits that he loves sweets, and that's mostly what he eats a lot of is sweets. He just like basically snacks throughout the entire day. You see that he got all this ice cream off of the ice cream truck, and then he said he was going to save some for later, but he probably ate it right there. He couldn't even wait for the ice cream man to get back in his ice cream truck before he was eating one of those strawberry shortcake things off of the truck. He just ridiculous. And the ice cream man, I already knew what he wanted, you know. So, anyways, then he said when he was 22, he weighed over 500 pounds. And then that's when that growth started to form on his leg. But what I'm trying to figure out is, if you notice this growth coming out of your leg, why the heck didn't you go to the doctor or something like to get help with that? Because that would have been my first thing to do. Like, I don't know what this thing is, and I need help. You know, some people, they just don't want to do it. So he also goes into telling us that he was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. And congestive heart failure is when, you know, you get fluid in your lungs and stuff, and basically your body fills up with fluid. So he went to the hospital because he couldn't breathe. So the doctor diagnosed him with congestive heart failure. So keep that in mind because that's really important throughout the story. He said he also has a lot of other medical issues, which is high blood pressure, the lymphedema, and all that. And I feel like, you know, the mom is enabling him. You know, she is bringing this on, you know, even more than what it could be, because she could be the mom and say, no, you know, you're not going to be eating all this food like that. That is enough. Because if he can't leave the house, how's he getting it other than ordering it? You know, take that phone away. Even though he's 32 years old, you know, she still should be able to, you know, he's living in her home. I feel like she should just don't bring him the stuff that, you know, is killing him, basically. Because this food that's what it's doing, is killing him. And anyways, because she buys the food and she's cooking the food. She's preparing the food. She's buying it. If he's not ordering out, she's the one that's cooking the food. You see what I'm saying? So anyways, she gets off of work and she comes home and brings chips and candy because he wanted some candy. And so she's basically saying, if he wants something, I'm not going to just not get it. I understand it because I'm a mom too, you know, so when your kid asks for something, you want to give it. But if it's, you know, something that is harming them, you should not continue to buy it. So anyways, he asked for candy and she bought him a bag of candy. She said that she only gives him one bag of it, but you filling the bag up with candy, you know, all different types of candies. He had Skittles in there, M&Ms, and some of those hot chips. So she gave him the candy, and she put it on the table. He walked in there, you know, and got it off of the table, and she said, you better not eat all that candy. You better not eat all that candy. And he's like, I'm not going to eat it all. The next thing you know, he done hid it under his pillow. Just like a kid would do. Just hid under his pillow. And he had a plate full of hot chips, Skittles on one side of the plate, hot chips on the other side of the plate. And he just laying across the bed because he can't really sit up that good because of that thing in between his legs. So he just sprawled out over the bed. That's really the only way that he could lay around, you know. And so just eating it, you know. And that was after all the pizza that he ate and the cheese bread. And I mean, he sat there and ate all of it. You know, the chicken wings along with it. And then, you know, he ate the candy and stuff that his mama brought from the store. So then we see his sister and his brother come over to try and to convince him to go to Houston with his mom so they can go see Dr. Now, because they know, basically this is it. If he don't get help, something's got to give. If he don't get help, he's going to die basically. So, they come over for dinner, and his sister and his brother are skinny. The mama is not that big either. He's the only one in the family that's big like that. So they come over, talk to him and stuff, and the mom, she cooks dinner for everybody. Well, everybody else is at the dinner table, and he can't even fit at the dinner table. He's too big to fit there, so he got to sit on the couch. The mama brings him a plate full of food. I mean, loaded that plate up. There was no spot on that plate. It was filled with food. They had pork chops, green beans, mashed potatoes, looked like macaroni and cheese. All that stuff, is not good for him. Even though she baked the pork chops, pork is just not something that, he should be eating. Anyways, so the next day we see them going to Houston. He's gonna go there, but before that, his dad comes over and visits. Talk to him, and to talk to him about going there. So, and his mom and dad is not together. So, his dad comes over through his bedroom door and talk with them and stuff. Sit down, talk to him for like 2 minutes, and then they're gonna go to Houston, but the son, Thedrick, he could barely get in the van that they were going in. The mom had to take out all the seats of the van in order for him to fit in. So basically, he walked to the van. He did walk there, walked to it. She pulled it all the way to the porch. He walked to the van, and she was telling him, get in. And the way that he got in, which he just fell in and, fell on the floor. And she's like, you should not get in that way, because now I can't close the door because your legs is in the way. So, of course, he scooted around a little bit, and she was able to get the doors closed. And they on their way to Houston. And the mom, she's driving the car, and of course he had his snacks on deck ready to go. He wasn't going nowhere without them snacks. He's talking about he don't know how long he gonna make it. They made it for 5 hours. They made it 5 hours, so that's good. And he made it 5 hours on the road. So from Florida to Houston, I don't know how many hours it's gonna take, but I know it's gonna take them days to get there because of that. Because they're gonna have to stop, and he probably can't last that long for the ride. So anyways, they finally, on their way there, they stop and they get food. They do show them go get a hotel the first night. Then the second day, they finally make it to Houston. When they make it to Houston, he goes to Dr. Now and goes to his office, and he gets weighed. Finally getting weighed. He says the last time that he was weighed, he weighed 663 pounds. And he hasn't been weighed because he ain't been to the doctor. Except for the time when he went for that heart attack, or he didn't have a heart attack, for his congestive heart failure. Anyways, so they get there. He gets weighed. The girl comes out, call his name. He go in there, hop on that scale. Like, he's all like, I'm nervous. The last time I was weighed, I weighed 663 pounds. And he says, and the weight is 740 pounds. He said he's shocked that he weighed that amount. And I'm like, I wouldn't be shocked. You ain't doing no kind of activity, but the only activity you are doing is eating. So anyways, Dr. Now basically asks him, why are you here? What can I do for you? Why are you here? What is the cause? What makes you want to change? Are you really gonna change? And who is buying all this food for you? How are you getting it? Because obviously you can't go to the store yourself. And the mom is like, I'm buying it, I tried to stop him from eating this away, but he is just, he just gets in his moods and gets the attitude and all that. And so Dr. Now's like, you need to change the way that you are eating now. You need to give him, I'm going to give you, Dr. Now says, I'm going to give you this 1,200 calorie diet like you do everybody. He gives him the 1,200 calorie diet, tells him no sugary stuff, only vegetables and salads and meats and stuff, and not even fruit. You can't have fruit. And he said, I'm going to give you 1 month and you need to lose 80 pounds. And he gives him the diet plan and all that. And Dr. Now also told him that he needs to go see a doctor in his town because he doesn't know if Thedrick's body can handle the weight loss surgery because he has the congestive heart failure. So he told him, I'll see you in 3 weeks. You come back in a month and let's see if you lost the 80 pounds. So next we see them at home, and it's 2 weeks later. They made it back to Florida, and his mom, you see his mom sitting there sewing up his shoes. Lord, he done busted out the shoes that he's supposed to be walking in. So his mama is putting these shoes back together. She is sewing them up. They like busted out on each side of the shoe, So she's sewing them up, and she's like, go in there and cook you some breakfast you need to eat, So he goes in there, makes him some eggs and stuff, and she telling him don't put that much oil in the skillet because I guess he's making some fried eggs or something, which is not healthy. So, and she gives him one shoe, like, try it on, I want to see how it looks. He's like, just buy me some new shoes, Mom, just get me some new shoes. And she's like, no, these look better than the store shoes. I'm like, girl, throw them in the trash can. So he put the shoe on, and he was like, one shoe, and she was like, I'm trying to fix the other shoe. Anyway, so so she fixes the shoes, and he puts them on his feet, and then, he gets done cooking his breakfast. He asks his mom if she wants something. She said no. So, anyways, Dr. Now says that he needs to be doing exercises and stuff, too, also with the 1,200 calorie diet. So the mom is making him walk, to the trash can. Well, go get the trash can and bring it back. He gets attitude because he can't barely breathe. So he just gonna slam the door in his mama's face. Lord. And she was like, did you just slam this door in my face? Yes, he did. Anyways, they go, after that, they go to another appointment. Oh, yeah, his dad comes over, talks to him, and he said that him and his mom talked about what he needs to do in order to get this surgery. That's all he's concentrating on is get this surgery. So, they come up with a plan that they're going to just move there to Houston. So his dad comes over, talks with them again, and tells them, gives them like inspiration, basically, that he can do it and that he need to be determined to do it, and he'll do it. So they just decided they're going to move there. They had a meeting with Dr. Now, like a Zoom call, and basically Dr. Now's like, it doesn't look like you lost any weight, really. So, they go back to the appointment, after they get moved there. And you see, Thedrick is helping with moving in the mattresses and all that stuff. He's all like, the place is kind of small and stuff like that. So, so since the place is kind of small, he kind of don't like that part. But at least, somewhere to live. It looks nice. This little apartment just for him and his mom. So he goes back to the appointment with Dr. Now, and by then it's 3 months from now, from the last time that he's been there with Dr. Now, and he only has lost 48 pounds in 3 months. What are you doing? 48 pounds, that's it. So he is 692 now, and Dr. Now feels that he's still overeating, and he tells him that he needs to stop. Tells his mom, like, are you are bringing him this food, like, why are you bringing him this food? And the mom is all like, I'm trying, but he just gets so upset with me, and it's only so much that I can do for him. And basically Dr. Now is like, well, I'm not going to be able to help him if he doesn't lose 80 pounds, So he says, I'm going to set you guys up with a nutritionist. The nutritionist comes over, and because basically Dr. Now feels like they're not reading the diet plan right. Like, they can't understand the diet plan. So he sends a nutritionist over to their house in Houston, and she tried to explain to them that, you can drink lemonade a different way than the way that you're drinking it. Instead of getting it from, the store, it's a lot of sugar in that one. So what you can do is make your own lemonade. So she just gives him some lemon juice and pours some like sweetener in it that's not it's like diabetic sugar or something. Anyways, she poured in there, and she's like, and Thedrick's like, you didn't even stir it up. You didn't even stir it up. And she's like, just drink it. You don't really even have to stir it up. And he was having a fit about that. And so the second time, he drunk it the first time. The second time, she gave him some, and then she stirred it up for him. And he asked his mom, does she want to taste it? She don't want to taste it. So then after that, they go back into Dr. Now's office. He's been doing more exercise and more walking and all that stuff. And he's finally starting to lose weight, after meeting with the nutritionist and all that stuff. And he's finally learning it, finally getting it down. And then Dr. Now finally gets him to go see a doctor, like a primary care, to see how his body is doing. So they run a test on his body and see if his body can basically handle anesthesia for that long, if his heart can handle anesthesia for that long, because he has congestive heart failure. It's really nothing that they can do. So then, they do the test. He doesn't pass the test. And he's not able to get the surgery. So since he's not able to get the surgery, basically Dr. Now is like, if you continue to lose weight, I still will help you. Even though I cannot do the weight loss surgery, but I can do the surgery to get that growth off of your leg, and that will help you out even more. We also see him getting, actually going out and doing stuff now that he has lost some weight. By the time the show was over, he had lost about like 100 and I want to say like 170 some pounds, I believe, or maybe less, 150 pounds. So he did lose some weight and stuff, and he was able to move around. Him and his mom was out walking at the park and stuff and having a talk, and he was talking about getting his own place and taking care of himself, and his mom was excited about that. So she could live her life now. But I feel like, she was babying him a lot. I don't know why, but I think that's what she was doing. And just prolonging his sickness so she can still have somebody to take care of. That's what I feel. Because she was acting like she didn't, really mind it taking care of him. But who wouldn't mind taking care of their child? But what I'm saying is she didn't mind, like, doing all that stuff. She it was kind of like a joy to her to give him all that food, I feel. Anyways, so that's the end of that review. I hope you guys like it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.